Okay, so with Merchanter, there's a number of different routes that you can take through with a sales order, depending on the different criteria of the sales order, like whether it's a cash or a credit customer, whether the goods are being supplied now or collected or delivered or direct to site. And so, as you'll see from this sort of basic flow chart, you can be starting from a basket or just straight from a draft order. With something like a basket into a retail sale, that basically jumps straight through to an invoice that automatically goes across to the financials. Because it's a retail sale, it's assuming that it's either fully paid or going onto the customer's account, and that the goods are being supplied now. So basically there's, one step, two steps to it to get it from placing the order through into being an invoice. However, it might be a case of you start from a draft order, you turn it into a quote, convert that quote into a bulk order, call off that bulk order into an allocated or a placed order. Optionally, you can go through separate sub-stages where you put that order out for picking, show it as having been picked and therefore ready for dispatch. Dispatch it out to the customer, confirm that the item has been supplied, do an invoice check, generate the invoice itself, and that invoice then goes across to the financials. And when the payment is received and reconciled on the financials, it then shows in the system as being complete. So there's lots of variance in between that, as I say, depending on the criteria of the particular order. And so let's go through a couple of those examples on the demo system. So I've got a basket here, I've just got one simple inexpensive item in it, and so I'm going to just run through and resell that product a couple of times under a couple of different scenarios. So the quickest and easiest one is I'm selling the product, it's in the basket, I'm going to do it as a retail sale. So I've got a generic trade counter customer, it's set to be supply now, it's only giving me the choice of cash sale. I enter the payment, choose how the customer's going to pay for it, so in this case on a card for $15.26. That gives me the options of cash sale invoice, receipt, print, obviously depending on what kind of printers you've got. And then that's all finished, and I'm back to the basket, having placed that order, supplied the items to the customer, and therefore got them out with an invoice and away, and that invoice is now sat in the financials. So that's a really straightforward, virtually no steps, no processing, and has generated a sale. Alternatively, if we go to the new button and pick up that we want to do a new sales order, we can go and choose who the customer is. In this case, I'm going to do a delivered order. So again, we're into our draft order. Choose the same item, just grab one from stock. There we go. Obviously there's a lot that can be done around pricing and so on, but that's not what we're here to look at today. I could take it through a quote stage if I want to, but if I take it onto an allocated order, that then comes through, and critically at the bottom here you'll notice there's a couple of choices. What you can do, depending on the timing of the order, is you can turn it into an allocated order, which will place it, it'll reserve the stock and get it ready to be picked and supplied to the customer. On the other hand, if this is an order that we want to jump straight through and say we're actually sending it now, you'll see there's an amber button to jump straight to quick dispatch. And so with that, we confirm what we're dispatching to the customer. Again, that pops up with the delivery notes that can go with the driver. Away that goes. And at this point now, as a credit sale, we could actually pick it up for batch invoicing from this dispatch stage, or alternatively, we can confirm that it's been supplied. This gives an option if the customer's rejecting any of the goods, but let's assume they're happy with it. And so that's now at a supplied stage, ready to be batch invoiced. Alternatively, if we do a cash sale, so let's go in, do a sales order, same customer, it's going to be delivered, but it's going to be a cash sale. There we go. So again, choose the same item, one of those. There we go. So it's now expecting a payment. I can place the order. So that basically then gives me another couple of choices. I can pay it off now. I can jump straight to dispatch, and I can allocate it as unpaid. So waiting for either a deposit or full payment at a later point in time. Let's say we're asking for payment from the customer now. So again, confirm how they're going to pay for it. There it is. Finish the payment. There we go. And so that now is going to generate a works order or picking note, email confirmation to the customer, and a pro forma invoice because the customer's paid for these goods but hasn't yet had them supplied. So that's all there. And so then if we go and dispatch the order and confirm on that, again, confirm we're sending that item, and that now can produce me a dispatch note to go to the customer. And then when I confirm that has been supplied, there we go, it now gives me the option to send a cash sale to the customer, issued, and you'll notice that's moved to a status of complete, so it's actually gone to the financials. I don't need to do anything else with that. So similarly, if we go and pick up the last order, we're going to do collected, cash sale, create order, choose that item. There we go, allocate the order, and we're going to pay it. There we go. So you'll see here, I can either finish and just mark it as allocated but paid, or I can jump straight to supplying it. Confirm what's been supplied, and that has jumped straight to generating me a cash sale invoice because it's fully paid, it's been supplied to the customer. That's now a complete order with an invoice that's gone to the financials. So I've covered 3 or 4 different scenarios there. As you can imagine, there's lots of combinations of that when you start to get into different stock sources, when you're back ordering, when there's a mix of sort of directs and collected, supplied, supply now, all of those different things. But each has got the relevant number of steps and the relevant number of processes to what's actually happening with each of the orders. So I hope that's useful.